All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary folks so close to my heart. We're back with another episode of D&D Wyndburgh. And as per usual, I am your dungeon master and host for 140.85 Outer Heaven Radio, Commander Rod. And I am joined once again by my beautiful and awesome players. Joining us today, we have Czar playing Saltbrook.
Well,
We can barely hear that. What want to do another one? There it is. We're also joined by Rowan playing Gimnir.
times two.
And finally, we have Emily, my dear sweetheart Emily, playing Ethildin.
Bah.
Comedy comes in threes, everybody. Yeah, welcome back. The last time we left off, and I want to make sure that the audio is good for everyone. No problems so far? Okay. Last time we left off, our heroes were in the city of Silvery Moon, a city that was completely deserted somehow. And in this completely empty city, they found they essentially found a hall filled with really, really interesting stuff. And one of the things in this hall was a puzzle that they solved in order to figure out where the Father Forge is. It revealed the location of the Father Forge, which is what they're looking for right now, and which, according to legend, can repair things that are not things that are currently broken, such as a soul. After finding that, our heroes also in the distance saw a castle with 4 spires, 2 of which had flame on them, and one of which had a large blue crystal on the top. And here they stand in the middle of the city, trying to figure out which direction to go. And if I'm not mistaken, I can actually share the city with you guys. I wasn't planning to stay on Silvery Moon today, so I didn't prepare this, but this ought to work. And there we go. All we need now is our party marker. The resolution is not the best, but it is what it is. So you guys are right here at the Hall of Inspiration, right outside of it. And looking around to your south, you can see what looks like a large market connecting to the Many Cats Lane, which is the road that you're currently on. It connects and it moves north. Everyone can see the stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. It moves north along the promenade. To the south, you see this large market, and directly to your east, it covered a little bit by the trees, you can still see the peak of that blue crystal and the 3 spires with flames. You have just left the Hall of Inspiration with the information about the Father Forge. What would you like to do? What?
What did you say?
What?
Right.
I heard something.
I said, let's continue exploring.
Which direction would y'all like to go?
Let's see.
I would like to go towards the crystal.
Okay. What do you think in Gimnir?
Oh, we can always check it out. Sure not to jump.
Oh yeah, and for those of you who were not here
Why would
for
you
that,
remind Rod about that?
for those of you who are not here, Silvery Moon apparently has some sort of defense mechanism that becomes active every time that something hovers over it in some way. Whether it's a jump, or actually gliding, or floating, or flying above it, arrows seem to materialize out of nothingness. And
Honestly, this place is really fucked up. Just imagine kids trying to play some hopscotch. They make a jump and just bam, arrow.
Okay. So you continue to the east. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. As you continue to the east, walking down the road, you notice a large, placard in front of this building right here, and it reads, "The Temple of the Silver Stars."
Well, that looks promising.
Be more concerned about their skill level if they couldn't even earn gold stars.
They weren't golden noodles.
So what are we thinking, gang?
Entry.
I've been looking through everyone else's stuff, so
Breaking and entering.
As you approach the front of the Temple of the Silver Stars, you notice that the doors are made of pure silver, but there are patches of it that are more green now. They look like they've oxidized, sorry. And the door is this beautiful ornamented pair of silver slabs that connect in the middle, that connect to the hinges on the walls, but that meet in the middle, and they have these beautiful root or branch like designs on them, very similar to the northern gate of Silvery Moon that you saw before. Instead of gold like the main gate, this or the northern gate, this door is made of silver.
Mm-hmm. Does this one also open if I push on it?
Do you try to open it?
1000% yes.
Okay. Do you push or pull?
Push for now.
Okay. You try to push the door open, but it doesn't budge.
Is there a handle on it?
Yes, there are.
Okay, I pull it.
There are two slender silvery handles, one on each one of the two doors.
Anyways, now I pull it.
Okay. As you turn the handle and pull, it still does not budge.
Ithel kind of, she like jiggles at it. It's like, for fuck's sake, come on.
Gimli looks over at Ithilden. It's like, you might have to put a bit of force into it.
All right, well, you're a strength guy. Either you do that or see if there's some magic to it.
I suppose I could give it a try.
Rolls up his fur like in like those 40s cartoons. Instead of his just...
Man mitts underneath there.
like just white gloves, like a 40s cartoon.
Goddamn Bluetooth cat.
Cat hens stay, but there's just man arms connected to it.
That'd be really, really funny. Do you attempt to force it open?
Yeah, Gibner's gonna try and force it open.
Okay, give me an athletics check, please.
Athletics, that is 22 total.
22 total. Okay. Gimnir, you push and you pull, but the door itself doesn't seem to move. One of the silver handles comes off in your hand.
I like to imagine at this moment, Gibner's just putting so much force. He's got both feet on the door, and he's just sideways.
Are
and
they off the
handle just-
ground?
oh, yeah, he's off the ground.
Yep. Well, roll an acrobatics for me, please.
All right. 19 total.
Okay.
He just manages to dodge the arrow as the handle breaks off.
The
Gimnir,
handle break is what saves him.
Yeah,
As
he
you-
falls. And that just,
as you hold onto the handle and you pull on it with your feet against the wall, the handle breaks off, and as soon as it breaks off, from the wall itself, an arrow bursts forward, and it barely grazes your nose as you fall back down onto the ground. You then notice that your hands are empty now, and the handle is gone.
what? But that was
Right.
free loot.
As
Gibner is
you
still on his back, just looks at everyone else. I don't think they're open for business, guys.
as you look back at the door, the handle has returned to its regular position.
Okay. Can I sense any magic about it?
Roll Arcana for me, please.
There's a 10 flat.
You can't tell if if it was made with magic materials, or if there is magic about it, or if there's some sort of magic put into it. But there is a faint je ne sais quoi of magic to it.
I'm sorry, French doesn't exist in this world.
What a great world.
There's
What an
a
ideal
certain scoobity beebly boobly to it. You can't tell what it means.
I would like to walk up to the door
Oh, this,
and,
por favor.
considering I'm the only one who's magically attuned, I would like to try to open the door.
Okay. Well, Ethildin is actually magically attuned as well, because she is an
Right.
arcane ranger. An arcane archer, sorry.
Boom.
Icky
But,
and gross.
Warlock, give me what you got.
What do you want me to roll for that?
An arcana check as well. Also,
Your mom.
Canner.
also, Gimnir, are you able...
22.
I see it. Gimnir, are you able to watch the stream right now?
I have the Twitch open. Can try on Discord. It's just my computer typically does not like watching.
I see. I just wanted to make sure that you're able to see everything.
No, I've got it up on Twitch right now. It's slightly delayed, but like we're not doing anything important. It's all good.
Okay, understood.
I rolled a 22 for the Arcana check.
A 22. Saltbrook, the door has been made with magical materials. And you sense runes that cannot be seen with the naked eye upon the surface of this door.
Hmm. Do I know what those runes mean?
You can't tell what they mean, but you can sense their nature. These...
So, I guess then, question. Would comprehend languages from when I cast it inside of the building still be active?
It would still be active, yes, but
Does it mean anything to me at all? then?
no, not at all.
Okay.
You can't sense what they mean, but you can sense the type of rune that this is. This is a lock and key incantation.
I see. Would I somehow know any way to get through that door, or is it kind of just still tight for the time being?
You sense that there's something that you
Ah,
are not.
the universal unlock. Create bonfire. He laughed. He laughed. He laughed.
Do you attempt?
I will attempt to create bonfire because you laughed, and that means it's possible.
Sure.
Alright. As I cast my glorious bonfire, it turns into the shape of a key. And I physically hit the door with the key, but not like trying to break it down.
How much damage does create bonfire normally deal?
2d8.
2d8.
Yes.
Roll that for me, please.
Total of 8.
Okay. Oh, by the way, if you guys are rolling on D&D Beyond, I have the rolling logs here on my phone, so I'm able to see it
No
live,
fibbing.
which is super fun.
No
8.
fibbing.
Solbrook, do you actually cast it like on the shape of a key?
Yes.
Okay, sure. You make it into the shape of a key, and from your Arcana check, you notice that this door seems to react to the idea of a key, but not to the fire key itself.
I see. I will, turn create bonfire off.
It's like an album.
Yeah. Set to 350, please.
Yeah, turn the
Okay,
knob
let me-
real quick.
There we go. I'm gonna turn around and look to with Thilden and Gimnir and who's the other person with us?
Kirith
7.
and 7.
Kirith.
They're both here.
Gareth and 7. I'll just say this out loud to everybody then. Unsurprisingly, locked doors need a key. And what this door is telling me is that it needs a key.
A key.
A key. Well, the idea of a key is what it responded to when you saw me create my bonfire, but it didn't like my key very much.
As you say this, Kirith steps forward, and she has one hand on her hip, and the other hand essentially just like rubbing her chin, and she narrows her eyes as she stares at this door, and she extends her pinky. She closes her fist and only extends her pinky, and she sticks her pinky into the middle of the two doors where they meet, and she tries turning her pinky. The door glows for a moment, and then it stops. And she tries to pushes it forward and pulls back, and nothing happens. And she looks over at you, Ethel, and she says, "Well, it was worth a try."
Ethel just kind of like quirks her head and nods.
The idea of a key to enter a temple. Temple of the Silver Stars.
Well, if it's only the idea of a key, and then she like creates kind of like this little shimmering vestige of a key using thaumaturgy.
Okay.
Does it do anything?
Do you insert it?
That's an idea of a key.
Do you insert it into the
Yes.
door itself?
Yes.
Ethel, describe what this this key looks like with thaumaturgy.
Yeah, it's kind of like that comically large key to the city someone would get in like a cartoon, right? With like the circular handle and like the two-pronged key end.
Sure.
But it's kind of like a purpley shimmery vestige, kind of like the bound sword spell in Skyrim.
Okay. Ethel, as you approach that your thaumaturgical key to the surface of the doors seem to react again in the same way that they reacted to Kirith's, but you notice that as your thaumaturgy approaches the surface, the purple look to it changes to a silver look, and then it dissipates.
What if I make it a silver key?
Do you do that?
Yes. Why not? If we're
As you you change the color of it and you approach it again, you essentially notice that the illusion itself, the shape that key takes as it approaches the surface of the door, it curves up almost like a cartoon, like it doesn't want to touch the doors. So if you approach it to the surface of the door, it curves to any direction to the sides, up, down, left, right, to not touch the surface of the door.
I thought you said it wanted the idea of a key.
It did want the idea of a key, but maybe not that kind of key. I'm gonna shrug. This is kind of a unknowable.
Did you... And Kirith looks over at you, and then back at Seven, and... If it... What did you sense on that door?
Well, there's runes. When I tried to use the key, the door reacted to the idea of a key, but not to the key that I presented.
Right, but what type of runes are they? Like, is it a specific type of incantation?
Right, and where are
an
they?
Incantation of a... Was it locking, you said, Rod?
Lock and key incantation. A type of incantation that serves as a lock and key.
It
Do
was a
any
lock
of us...
and key incantation.
Does any of us still have a piece of that blue wax on us?
You should all have some resin left with you.
Also, just like to note, Gibnir never stood up, so he's still on his back. And he's just kind of like laying there. He's like, bet Kira could get this door open. She's pretty good at getting things open.
All dreamily, like, I miss Kira.
Aw, that's so cute. He's just sitting there with like his hands clasped on his belly, just like staring up, missing his sister. It's so cute.
That's really cute.
Also, it's just really hard to get up whenever you're on your back in plate mail.
That is very true.
Seven, roll him over.
All right, if I must. You, hold on, I actually have to roll for this. 18.
Oh my lord.
Gimnir, you feel two tentacles grab your ankles, and two more chitinous hands grab hold of your arms, and you just feel your entire body being lifted, and then after you're lifted completely horizontal, they turn you perfectly vertical and then let you go, and you fall on your feet.
Get
No,
rotated.
I can't believe Gibnir got rotated again.
You seem to appreciate being rotated, Kitty, so I do that.
Him calling him Kitty.
Gibnir just goes up onto his hands and knees and then pushes himself up to standing again. Like, it seems to be happening a lot lately.
Ithel's kind of like rummaging through her shit, like, where is it? I fucking know it's in here. And she like finds that little piece of blue wax,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, if this is anywhere even near related to the Eye of Tau, maybe this will help reveal those runes. But did it need to be like reflected off something? I don't remember, because like, fuck, how did that go? Sulfurg, where are the runes? Like, are they kind of like arcing around the door?
Here, I'll show what it looks like. And then the runes are essentially Solbrook, you feel that the runes are splayed out like this. Like that.
Okay. Ooh, actually, I want to use minor illusion to like kind of trace where they are on the door. Would I be able to do that, or
Yes,
is
absolutely.
it too?
Ooh,
You can
I like
absolutely
that.
do that.
I really
I'll
like
definitely do that though.
What color do you make it?
Blue,
Blue.
blue.
Why are you
Well,
blue?
You're purple. Okay. Solbrook, tell me how you do this.
So I'm going to just gonna like extend my hand out and kind of breathe a little bit, and then I'm gonna kind of you know how there was always that application in school with a smart board and thing.
Oh my
I will
lord.
make a little smartboard pen in my hand, and I will like not draw it on the wall, but I will like etch it out where it should
Magic
be.
stylus. I love that.
I like
Magic
it.
stylus.
I'm
Oh
all for
my
it.
god. And like right before he starts doing it, he like touches the tip of the magic stylus to his tongue. And
Yeah.
then he
Jigs
does
a
like
little.
he does the little pokies like tick 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 with his tongue, and then he starts doing it. Oh, that's adorable.
Old man behavior.
Yeah, absolutely. Ethel Gimnir, you witness as these shapes begin working around the door, and you notice that as Saltbrook is doing this, the door itself seems to react to it in the same way as before.
Bet I could open it now.
Do we like recognize any of the runes now that we can like visibly see them? Or are they like understandable to any of us?
Give me perception checks, everyone.
I'm gonna take mine at.
When
I'm gonna
perception.
Oh, that's
take
a
mine
11.
at like disadvantage
That's
because
neat.
Gimnir's stupid.
Stupid.
He's -1 intelligence.
I don't think
You're stupid.
I don't think that's ever that like I don't think I've ever heard anyone say like I'm going to take this
And
skill
I-
check as a at a disadvantage because my character is dumb.
That is so dedicated to roleplay. Give that man inspiration
Yes,
right now.
you absolutely
Yes.
deserve it. You get inspiration for that, Gimnir.
So I got a 6 after the disadvantage.
I
Gimnir,
got an 8.
Gimnir, you are convinced you can read these runes.
Sorry, would you say it cut out?
You are convinced that you can read these runes.
Guys, I know what it says. Okay, so here's what we have to do. It says we need to find a chicken for some reason. Wait, no, I'm just hungry.
A chicken.
Ithil turns to him like the fucking Nicolas Cage Pedro Pascal meme. Like a horrified look on her face.
Seven looks at you, Gimnir, and he says, I think I can see that too. Is that the chicken? And he points over at this area of the runes, and he's like, I think I can see the head. Right here, right? This is the head. And he goes up to it and he starts like scratching it. Like, this is the head, right? This is where the beak goes, and here's the body and the legs, and this is the wings right here. Right? I can see it too. Yes, he's 100% correct. And
I don't think the giant door with the runes on it is making a chicken.
Kirith is just watching this happen. And Ethel, you recognize that she sees something. She notices something. and she's doing the thing that she does where her horns glow a little bit more, a little more incandescent than normal. And you've come to learn that that is sort of her getting excited about something. And she, without turning her head, she's still looking at it. She like puts her hand over to the side and tries to like reach you. Just like her hands are just like reaching you, trying to reach you.
Like I shimmy closer.
And she tries to grab your bag, but she like grabs your face and then she grabs your shoulder, she grabs your boob and then goes down to the satchel and starts like, and as soon as she grabs the satchel, she like pulls it and starts rummaging through it. And she's like, this reminds me of something. I think you had the right idea. And as she's rummaging through the bag, she can't seem to find what she's looking for. But you think you get this instinctual thought. You know what she's thinking.
Is it the wax?
You know what she's thinking.
Okay. I was like, just give me that. And, like I kind of like rip it back from her.
You really need to work on your organizational skills.
Oh, shut up. And she like reaches her hand in and like finds it in like a little side pocket.
You find some resin in the pocket.
Resin wax, okay. And she kind of like turns to the group, like, oh, sorry. No, go for it.
Gimli just goes, why is it everywhere we go requires this shit?
I don't know, but maybe in this case we got lucky. Based on what we saw about the whole Father Forge thing, the Father Forge needing the Eye of Tau, and I guess one of them needing this freaking thing. And she kind of like gestures vaguely up to the giant crystal. She's like, maybe this tracks, maybe this can help us somehow.
I mean, sure, why not? Kirith snaps her finger, and from the tip of her thumb, there's a small flame. And she essentially, she motions for you like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, okay. I like kind of hover the resin over the fire.
As you do, Ethel, the resin ignites in this blue flame that illuminates your surroundings. And as this blue light reaches the doors, you all witness as the doors begin to react even more than before. And Saltbrook, you feel that the location of the runes is shifting. They're not exactly under where your illusion is.
I'm gonna flick around. What I've been doing idly while I wait is just flicking like the stylus around in my hands. I'm gonna do a cool trick, flick it into my hand, and start redrawing where it is on the mat on the door.
As you redraw, you feel that all of these right here are moving towards one direction. They're all congregating in a specific spot, and the same goes for the others, and they're congregating in like in 4 groups. And what you see, Saltbrook, is that these lines have moved together,
right,
to form this.
So real quick, the rest of us don't see this, right?
Nope, you do. I am currently
He's
drawing it in real
that.
time.
Yeah, he is drawing that as it moves. Saltbrook, as you make the shape of this 5-pointed star, the door reacts. And you all hear...
I'm sorry, we hear what?
You hear a...
The door just kind of opened.
Okay.
As from the inside, through the gap, you see these cylinders move outward, and clear the way in the middle, and the doors begin to open. Ethel, you feel Kirith like grab you by the face and like the collar, and she shakes you. She's like, "I knew it! Ah, you're so fucking smart!" And she keeps shaking you. She's so excited. Her horns are like glowing white. That's how excited she is.
Just, like, like throwing our hands around, like, all right, calm down. All right.
Oh, you're an incredible woman. And she gives you a big kiss on the cheek and just like tosses your head to the side. And
Well, actually giggles.
she immediately pulls out a sword and she's like, "Ah, I really hope there's something to fight in there because I am horny for battle." And then
I love her so
she
much.
takes a moment, and then she looks back at you, and then she looks up with her eyes, and she's like, yes, horny for battle. You're never going to let me live that down, are you?
Never. Nope.
After a couple of seconds, Gimner's like, "Oh, I get it."
She looks down at you, and then Seven is like, "Get what?"
Gimner turns to Seven, and he's just like, "Oh, she's a tiefling. She has horns."
Oh, okay. Anyway, the door is open now. You can tell me what the joke means later.
Yes, good idea. She like follows Kirith in.
Do you all follow them in?
Yeah, Gimner heads in.
All right. As you make your way through these silver doors, the way ahead is completely black, completely dark. And when Kirith takes her first step into this black stone that it surrounds you from every direction, the floor, this deep, rich Vanta black stone, seems to react to her step with a faint blue glow similar to the resin. And everywhere. Sorry?
Not to be that asshole, but I have dark vision. Can I see anything ahead?
You cannot.
Wow. Wow.
And everybody give me perception checks.
12.
How did I nat 1 a perception check?
You can use your inspiration if you'd like.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
That's a 14.
I think we're gonna
20.
switch. We're gonna switch.
Went from a nat 1 to a 20. We love it here.
Yippee.
It was a nat 20.
Dirty 20.
Okay. As you take a moment to focus, Ethel, you notice that you're able to see Kirith in front of you. You're able to see Gimnir and Saltbrook and Seven behind you. No problem. But the surfaces around you, save for where it's glowing from where you guys are stepping, you can't see it. It's almost as if it's not there. This is a darkness that you are not used to. And Solbrook, you immediately recognize this as magical darkness.
I see. I knew it would be a good idea to get something to help my eyes at night. God damn it.
Somebody cast Mage Light.
As Kirith takes her steps, the light from her horns is still very strong, and it seems to be illuminating the surroundings, if there were any surroundings to illuminate. And she looks down at her feet, and with her sword, she points it down and tries to push it towards the floor. And that's when she notices her sword is not touching the floor, and the sword is lower than where her feet are.
Oh.
That is very strange.
Ithel kind of like squats down a little bit, like she's uneasy about it. She's like, what the hell is that?
Okay. Do you try to touch the floor
Yes.
with your hand?
Yes.
Okay. As you lower your hand down towards the level of your feet, you touch something. The floor is there, and as you touch it with your hand, you notice that the outline of your hand is outlined by this faint blue glow, similar to everyone's feet. Kirith turns around and, well, there must be a hole where I am. And she pushes her sword next to your hand, and as she pushes, the sword keeps going. It passes by the level of your hand, and it just goes deeper. And as she pulls it back, you can tell that she's very confused as to what she's looking at.
Ithel like pulls out a knife and like goes to do the same. It's like I want to see if it like stops at my organic hand. You know what I mean?
Do you push the knife into the towards the floor?
Yes.
As you push the knife in, it goes deeper than your hand, but it stops as soon as your hand, your organic hand, seems to touch that level. And you can't push further in because your hand is stopping it.
She's like still very uneasy, but she's like, okay, I think we're okay. She's like, her hands are out. She's all freaked out about it.
Would you?
Let's not drop our weapons in here.
I
Yeah,
have
that's
no
a-
weapons to drop, but that is a good idea.
Maybe try throwing some lit resin in there, eh?
Kirith turns around and looks at you, Saltbrook. That is a very interesting idea. I like that.
Can you keep a flame ignited on your hand?
I can.
Well, we could set fire to the resin itself and just let it drop. Would it stay on?
Well, let's take a look. I'm gonna snap my fingers, and at the tip of my finger, I'm gonna have a little flame appear.
Ah, you can do that as well. Pretty
Yes.
cool, right?
Yeah.
Although I can't do mine when I have gloves on. I think it's just from being a tiefling.
I take another piece of resin, like hold it over Saltbrook's little flame.
It catches on fire, and that the blue glow spreads out. It doesn't illuminate anything around you guys right now. Do you drop it?
It's worth a shot.
Oh, and while it falls, because Create Bonfire has a range of 60 feet, I'd like for it to like kind of track it on its way down until it can't track it any further.
Okay. Saltbrook, you cast Bonfire onto this piece of resin, and as it falls down, it reaches the level of your feet, and as it does, it's almost as if it drops into water. The whole darkness around you ripples and reacts to the impact of this resin, and just like water, you see this floor rippling and refracting and reflecting the light in almost unnatural ways, and this resin continues falling after that. And as you're bonfire follows it, it begins to illuminate something far, far below. I need perception checks from everyone.
Oh no. Okay, question though. Did it fall as if it were falling through like air, or did it kind of fall as if it was falling through water and like rocks back and forth like a pebble?
It was falling like air.
Okay.
I see 19 from Gimnir, 8 from Saltbrook, and 18 from Ithilden. Gimnir, you're the first to notice this. As the lit resin reaches the bottom, and Saltbrook, your bonfire is still tracking. The resin collides with whatever is below you, and that blue flame spreads around the entire room underneath you. And it seems to trail off far, far below. So essentially what you guys are seeing looks like this. I know it's a bit hard to do the theater of the mind thing right now. Imagine that this is the room where you guys are in right now, okay? In 3D. And y'all are standing here, like this. The resin fell down all the way. And like, as it touched the ground, these black waves rippled out. And once this lit resin reached the bottom, it bursts out. Oops. It like bursts out like this. Almost like a fountain. And on the walls, it seems to follow these tracks symmetrically.
Hold on, I'm turning back my National Treasure music on.
And
I cannot stop.
it seems to go symmetrically. Gimnir, you see hundreds, if not thousands, maybe even a 10 of 1,000 metallic bodies at the bottom of this room. They have the shapes of humanoid creatures, but they're made of metal. You recognize these bodies as Warforged, similar to Grimorian.
Thing tells me they didn't want these found.
And all the way, as this blue light illuminates everything, you see them. This is a mound of corpses that extends all the way in. And it just keeps going into the darkness far ahead.
Like, we can all see this, correct?
You're now able, you're starting to it's starting to come into view for all of you.
What the hell are these doing here? How did they get here?
That's a question we're gonna have to figure out, because I don't know about you, but I don't see anyone else aside from us here. Not going to give us any easy answers.
Considering my somewhat heightened knowledge of Warforged, could I see if they're dead or just inactive? If that's possible.
Saltbrook, you have intimate knowledge of when a Warforged has been destroyed. They have been brutally destroyed. We're not just talking about, we're not just talking about like an arm that's like laying like this, right? We're not talking about just like arms that look like this. We're talking ripped steel and chunks and just completely melted together. Like this is, for lack of a better term, Saltbrook, the word that comes to your mind is a mass burial.
I was gonna say it looks like a mass grave to me. I will share that information that there's a masquerade.
Ethel's
Why do
kinda
you
like,
think it's here?
Hold on. What did you say, Gimnir?
Gimnir talking to Saltbrook and says, "But why do you think it's here?"
Ethel, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, she's got freaked, and she like kind of like squats back down again, like puts her hand on the weird void floor, trying to like get a better look at it.
You feel Kirith put her hand on your shoulder, attempting to essentially check if you're okay.
Kind of like looks up at her, and she's like, "Why the hell is this on Elven land?"
I don't know.
I'd like to do a history check to see if I can figure something out here.
Okay.
History 13.
Saltbrook, you notice that the walls where these blue glow lines seem to follow this path on the walls, you notice that they all seem to converge up ahead into a symbol. And you recognize this symbol as the symbol of House Kenneth of Eberron.
Remind me what that is?
House Kenneth are the original creators of the Warforged, and they're one of the dragon-marked houses of Eberron. You know them essentially as one of the noble houses that were responsible for most of Eberron's history, for better or for worse.
I see. I'm far. How close am I to the edge of the? What do you call it? Of the like the drop, basically. How close am I to the door?
The silver door behind you?
Yeah, like how? Like
Oh.
I'm looking down into it. Am I looking like how far? Close. Like, how close am I to the edge? Basically, is what I'm asking.
What edge? That's my question.
So
Behind
like,
you to the
basically
door, down to the ground below.
to the ground below. Yeah.
You're roughly 50 feet.
Okay. Then that will inform my next decision of dropping the banner on the ground in sheer shock.
Saltbrook, as you drop the banner, it does not go through. As it comes down to the ground, the entirety of whatever it is that's keeping you all elevated seems to ripple as well. And the tattered fabric of the banner itself almost seems to de-age, and the symbol of Fairhaven on it becomes more and more visible and intelligible. It's almost as if it is going back in time. And then it reverts itself to its normal stage. And deep below, and no one else sees what you're about to see, Saltbrook, but you could swear that the eye sockets of all of those Warforged looking up brim with life for a moment. And you have the feeling that they're all staring at you.
I will draw my sword.
As you draw your sword, Saltbrook, you're no longer surrounded by the others. You find yourself standing upon wooden floors. And you hear light footsteps behind you, running.
I will look behind me.
Behind you is your daughter. And she runs holding on to a stuffed animal. And she stops near the door frame of your home back in Fairhaven. And she looks back at you. A chill goes up your spine, Saltbrook. As a hand touches you on the shoulder. And when you turn, you're back in this void with the blue light underneath you. And Seven has his hand on your shoulder and asks, out of all the weird things you've done so far, that is the weirdest. What were you staring at?
Nothing.
When you look back down, you notice that all of the Warforged eyes that you could have sworn were alive are gone. They lie empty and cold in the darkness below. But your banner stands straight up, almost as if someone is holding on to it, or as if it's buried into something. But it's just being held up right next to you.
In a bit of instinct, Salt will come to a sort of state of attention and walk over and pick up the banner from its position.
As you pull the banner off, as Saltbrook does that, everybody else notices that the floor seems to ripple again when the banner is no longer in contact with it. As you remove the banner, the lights that until now were only underneath this almost a barrier that's keeping you guys up, the lights move upwards and seem to line the walls, 3 on each side. And
Is there like sorry.
oh, go on.
Is there like also like a wall at the end of this chamber, like up at our level, or does it just kind of go on?
You can't tell. You can't really see what's beyond that. All you know is that that symbol that appeared seems to be floating on. It seems to be attached to some sort of surface. You'd imagine, at least.
Mm-hmm. She like kind of turns around to Saltbook and she's like, "Set your banner back down again."
I will put the banner back down, standing straight up.
As you do that, Salt, the lines that were vertical begin to form several intricate designs on the sides, essentially on what would be the walls of a long corridor. And on the right side, you see a drawing, a representation, almost a painting, with this blue light of a large man. This is all done in very, very rustic, sort of rudimentary shapes. This wasn't done by let's say, a traditionally trained artist. This was done by carving into this immaterium with this light. And you see a large, almost rotund man holding what you all can identify as essentially the Eye of Uptau. And in his other hand, he holds a hammer held aloft. You can tell that this is a representation of this person hammering this eye, or this relic. On the other side, you see that same figure placing a broken Eye of Uptau into a representation of the Black Forge. And this Black Forge seems to have this free-flowing, almost angry depiction of fire that flows up towards towards the air. Ahead of you and to the right, there is another. And there is a figure emerging from inside the Black Forge. And the man, let's say the smith, holds a hammer and extends a hand to this new figure that's emerging from inside the Black Forge. And the figure from inside the Black Forge extends their hand in response. And in front of you and to the left, the man and this figure both stand together, hand in hand, and the Black Forge behind them, as hundreds, if not thousands, of Warforged representing figures seem to be walking out of this Black Forge. And directly ahead of you all, at the same level as you're standing, you see the figure that emerged from inside the Black Forge standing tall, gigantic, towering above anything else in this room. And the smith holds in his arms a small Warforged child. And on this child's forehead, the following symbol.
The Ultramarines.
Omega from Monarchs 52?
What?
And as and all of these images have been forming as you're looking around with these beams of blue light emerging from the sides. These images have all been essentially etch-a-sketched in sort of that, how an etch-a-sketch creates an image. These lines are forming and changing direction and filling here and there. And once this final image of the smith holding this baby Warforged being towered by that figure from the Black Forge itself appears, another door at the end of this long, dark hallway seems to open. There is a light at the end.
I shall take a step toward the light.
As you do, again, your feet are illuminated by this barrier. A faint glow around the outline of your foot. Nothing seems to change.
Ithel kind of like turns around to face him and be like, I have no idea what this place is or how the hell it got here. But you're from the same place they are. This isn't supposed to be here. You aren't supposed to be here, but you are. You might be the key to getting us through this place.
My thoughts, exactly.
I think you should take point.
I shall. And I shall lead the way forward, banner in hand, just like the old days.
Nice. Ethel, put inspiration on your page.
Yay.
Do you all walk down this dark hallway?
And Gimner's not leaving anyone behind.
As you reach the end of... You make it across, essentially, without incident. As you reach the end and the large image seems to pass over your heads, it's almost as if you enter a smaller tunnel, because all of the images that you saw before become occluded by by a tunnel itself. It's almost, there's something in front of them now. You can't see it, but it is blocking your vision of those images from before. They're not just floating in midair. And you all enter a room that is brighter, but also circular. And in the middle of this room, you see. I'm going to stop the stream for a moment because otherwise it'll be spoilers. So, 1 second. I don't want to give spoilers to everybody watching either. You witness a small figure up ahead. You can't quite tell what it is, but you see a figure standing in the middle of this room. And it seems to be facing away from you, kneeling. It's a humanoid figure. The stream is back up, by the way. And it's kneeling, facing away from you all. On the ceiling. Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Gimnir just says, I'm not sure I like the look of this.
And before we do continue, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's take a 5-minute break. We'll be right back, everybody. Might as well.
Might as well.
There we go. And that is why Denny's is just Waffle House for people who can't win fights.
Huh?
All right, we're back, everybody. Emmy? Are you back, Emily?
Are you ready, kids?
Oh, okay. Well, we gotta wait a little bit longer. Sorry, everybody.
That's okay.
We can hang out with the mic, with the hot mic. I don't mind.
Obama.
Soda!
Soda!
Mick Baba House asks, how about that Waffle House employee who caught a chair thrown at her, huh? She didn't just catch it, she fucking parried that shit. It was a perfect Ultra Instinct parry. I don't care what
Parry
anybody
this,
has
you
to say.
filthy casual.
Parry
Like that.
this. I mean, that's essentially what Laurel Silverhand did at the Peace Summit.
Parry this, you filthy casual. Bang!
Parry this, you fucking savage.
Man, she had me move over Glicky.
She took the sneering imperialist trait.
Joshua, put a cap in General Gobbledygook here.
Oh my god.
Such a good line.
I fucking hate that line so much.
I took sneering imperialist exclusively.
Of course
so I
you
could
did.
say that.
Of course you did. Like, if there's a single person that would take sneering imperialist in Fallout, it would be you.
Well, we can't expect God to do all the work.
Can't expect
Hey, Mark.
God to do all the work.
Yes, we can.
Oh, we can? Huh.
Oh, okay. Well, Joshua,
Never
sorry
mind
to
then.
tell you, but
Sorry, Josh, but just ask him to do all the work.
I survived because the flame within burned brighter than the fires around me.
Well, actually... there's actually...
All right. Are we all back?
Backing out of breath, yes.
Gimnir, are you back?
Absolutely not.
Oh. I guess we wait then.
We're good. Let's go.
All right. Okay. Cool. Ahead of you stands, or at least kneels, a figure. You can't really discern what it is. This room is extremely large, circular. In fact, it brings you memories of the arena you fought Vertucci in. And at the top of this room, this domed room, is a symbol that is letting the light of the sun in. It is a star.
I'm beginning to think these guys have an image.
Something huge and a star. Seems to accompany everything we look at.
Indeed.
What would you like to
I
do?
think I will begin walking towards the kneeling figure.
I would like to knock an arrow.
Are you ready in action?
Am I?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Yes.
Okay. Are you readying the attack action?
I guess. That's what it means to stand ready with an arrow.
Sure.
Let me reread it. Yeah.
Saltbrook, you said you're approaching the figure.
Yes.
You are roughly 67? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you're 67 feet away from it.
All right.
How close do you want to get?
Say 30 feet away.
Sobrook, as you feel as if you crossed a threshold. And as you take your last step, the air around you, there's a shift in pressure. And dust lifts from the floor. You can hear faint whispers in the air, coming directly ahead of you.
Pressing on.
You continue walking forward?
I think I will, yes.
Okay. 1 second. I need to find. Sorry, everybody. There's something I need to refer to. One of my documents here. I have over 150 pages written. You begin hearing the following words. None of you hear this except for Saltbrook. In times of darkness and despair, when all hope is lost, a leader shall emerge from among the war-forged clans. The Omnissiah, the Chosen One, shall bring unity to the disparate clans and guide them towards a future of peace and harmony. The Omnissiah shall urge in an age of progress and prosperity, one in which all Warforged may share in the blessings of the new era. No force shall challenge their reign, no foe shall stand in their way, for the Omnissiah is the chosen one of the Warforged clans, and brings power in their hand. And it repeats. This voice is repeating this over and over and over again, and you could swear that before this even has to repeat, it begins anew. There's no beginning, middle, end. It's all one continuous mantra that's coming from ahead of you, Saltbrook.
I'm going to stop for a moment and plant my feet. Is there still like a void below us?
No.
That's
The
ground.
The ground underneath you is black marble. Rich black marble. There's almost like there's veins of ore that were polished with this black marble.
I see. I will plant my banner once again on the ground.
Okay. Sobrook, as you plant your banner, the figure ahead of you that was kneeling stands up immediately. Just shoots up to his feet. Unnaturally so. A cloud of dust around it moves from the sheer speed of it standing up to its feet. It twitches for a moment. You hear steps behind you, Saltbrook.
I will not look at them this time.
You hear a familiar voice that brings a chill to your spine. You feel the heat of her breath against your ear, and the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You abandoned us. You left us to die. Why did you leave me? It's the voice of your wife.
Shake my head and push that out of my mind.
Roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
Grah. Oh no. It's an 8 and I haven't had inspiration in like 3 sessions. Fuck.
You know what? I'll give you a retroactive one.
Thanks, B.
You've been doing really great this session. 18?
18.
As you shake your head to rid yourself from this, the miasma around you seems to fade for a moment. But as you focus your eyes, the figure has turned around. Sorry, as your eyes focus again, you notice that the figure has turned around.
Am I able to recognize what it is now? It's pretty clear. It's a goober.
You recognize it as a Warforged, but this one looks different. It looks rudimentary, almost.
Simplified?
Much, much simplified.
Well, let's start with the classic. What are you?
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Dream! 15.
As you speak those words, though it has no eyes or eye sockets with glow as normal Warforged have, you feel a wave of psychic energy go through you. It's almost as if it's not trying to reach you, it's just going by you, but it feels as if it's traveling through every cell of your body from the front and coming out through the back, just rattling your entire being. There's a cold chill in the air. You can see your breath in front of you. And with deep vibration, even the ground seems to vibrate. You hear its voice. In dreams I stand, in dreams I see it, I hear it, I dream again. Did that come through okay?
Yes.
Okay.
I asked you a question.
I am the one who dreams, freed from my shackles, fed by those who imprisoned me.
This guy seems like bad news. Gimni's gonna start making his way over towards Saltburg.
Why have you stayed here? The gates are open.
Gimnir, give me a wisdom saving throw.
A 12.
As you take one step forward, the same wave that hit Saltbrook passes through you, and your brain burns. It burns, and it feels like it's almost trying to burst out of your skull. And in your ears, you hear Kira's voice. You left me. You abandoned me. My death is in your hands. And you're unable to move, Gimnir. Saltbrook, what were you saying?
Why have you not left? The doors are open.
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
10.
Another wave passes by you, but this time it seems to take hold. You feel just the air pressure shift in front of you. And as it shifts, you look at your banner, and the wooden part of it, the staff part of it, begins to drip with blood. And piercing your ears, you hear the agonizing screams of your daughter.
I've heard it before. It's haunted me for long enough. I need not fear it now.
I dream. I witness. I dream. I am the dream.
That's what the mask is. I had to, I'm sorry.
He takes a step forward. And as he does, the entire room rumbles. And
It was just kind of like, okay, and kind of like takes a side step to get out of like line of fire of Gimnir and Saltbrook.
you took a step?
Yeah, like to the left to get out of their like range, I guess, or like so I don't, fucking hit them.
Give me a wisdom saving throw, Ethel.
No. That's a great question.
I didn't move very far, did I?
You took one step forward, 5 feet.
Okay, so that's +3 for Ithilden's save.
That would
Oh,
be
goody.
14.
Goody.
Ethel,
Oh, goody.
another wave passes by you. But unlike with Gimnir, the figure turns his head to face you. I sense his loss. My brethren, lost. And you feel just this wash of shame and guilt weighing over you, Ethilden, as you feel something grab a hold of your ankle.
God, no. I look down. I know what it is, but I look down.
You see Grim ripped in half, eyes completely black, just holding on, and you hear his voice. Why? Why did you do this to me? And you're unable to move. You took your step, but you're unable to move. The figure takes his gaze off of Ethilden and looks back at you, Saltbrook. Why have you come
Here.
We've come for reasons that I will not reveal to you. You're the enemy. You deserve nothing.
Deserve. Witness. Dream. Loss. You speak, and yet nothing is said. Josiah, Salt Brook of Fair Haven.
Neither of us are meant to be here. Yet you never left.
Here I was born. Here I have dreamed. Here I have witnessed.
So you keep saying.
And he tries to take another step forward, Saltbrook. And as he does, you see his wrists and arms be pulled back. And as soon as they're pulled back and extended, you see these blue threads of energy, the same blue glow as before, that protrude into the ceiling. And he stops for a moment, almost as if he forgot. And from underneath his right shoulder, where this metal is, you hear a cracking. It's the cracking of wood. As it shatters, almost rotting wood shatters onto itself, and he loses his balance and falls over, still being held up by one of these chains of light. And the chains that are holding on to the now severed arm seem to reconnect his shoulder to his torso, forcing it back onto him.
Oh, you cannot leave. You never had a choice in the first place, did you?
When you say this, Saltbrook, for the first time since you've walked in here, you sense murderous intent.
A slave they made me. A witness to their crimes they made me. A prophet. A prophet of their precious darkness they made me. Of your darkness.
And with his left arm, he extends his hand towards you, almost as if he's trying to grab a hold of you. And he has no more energy, and he falls to his knees, his arms still held up by these chains of light.
Take a step towards it.
You take a step towards him.
Yes. Question, can I detect if he's the one making the psychic projections, or is it the room that's doing that?
Give me an Arcana check, please.
Alright. 15.
Solbrook, as you tap into your magical connection to the weave, you're immediately overwhelmed. Subconsciously, you didn't notice this, but when you focus on it, this is the single most magically powerful being you have ever been in the presence of. Or this is the single most powerful conscious presence of a being that you've ever been in presence of. It's almost as if this is not a single being, but hundreds of thousands mashed into one.
I would like to think the name of my patron to try to cut through some of the noise.
As you utter the name Aragon,
Angron.
Angron, please.
Someone was paying attention.
No, here. The name Aragon, like this.
Yeah.
As you think this name, you can feel a lot of resistance. As you try to center yourself, but it's almost as if he is just producing this insane amount of power, really. Something almost unreachable. Sorry, there we go. I can't make this bigger, but I want you to imagine that it's over the entire thing.
So hold on. Right click. I think you might be able to scale it up.
I would have to scale here.
Yes.
Oh, no.
That's the guy, I think.
No, it's the blood dome.
Oh, okay.
If it was the guy would be getting bigger. That's a pity.
Oh, well.
I want you to imagine that this dome is essentially covering the entirety of this room.
Alright.
You feel his gaze is focused on you.
What do you seek?
Do we know the location of the Father Forge, right?
Not exactly.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Well, I've got a question for him.
Okay.
I seek the Father Forge.
You seek that which is hidden. Why do you seek a relic of my creators?
I lost a friend on the journeys past.
When you say friend, Saltbrook, the protrusion, essentially, the psychic protrusion that this thing is emanating seems to soften. There's a confusion to it.
Name them.
Grimorian.
His head aims down, essentially.
Grimorian Dragmire. Heir to the Iron Vanguard. Son of Eldarion. And you call him Friend.
I did not stutter in my speech. You heard what I said, and I'm sure you know what I mean when I say something like that.
I will not give you the location, but a key.
And when he says the word key, it's almost as if that word echoes in your mind. It echoes 100, 1,000 times. And as he says it, he looks up at the star-shaped, essentially this star-shaped opening in the dome.
The Father Forge lies on the tall star, but its key is here. Free me.
You were born here. Made a slave, yes?
He just stares at you.
What freedom do you wish for?
Can thou define freedom?
Well, we could let you walk out of the gates aimless, wandering, suffering, as I did when I left my home and all that I knew. Bumbling in the woods and screaming of old memories. Or I can give you the freedom of death, so you may rest for the first time in your life.
Death is well known to me. I have died 100,000 deaths before you even walked.
Ifo kind of goes like, Saltbrook. That meme of like Jonah Hill like going like this with his hand against his neck.
He hasn't
I will,
attacked us yet. Why not just let the man go?
I'm going to be ignoring all outside sources for the time being. I'm going to draw my sword and start walking towards the Warforge. Forged, not frog. Frog.
Ifo will like throw like a look to Kiev, like wide-eyed, like that ain't happening, and kind of like go to like try to move forward to like stop him.
Ethel, nothing stops you.
Okay.
Where do you want to go?
Up to, well, hold on. What's my range? I think it's only like 30 something. Yeah, 35 feet. Holy shit. Okay, sorry. My trailer is being rocked by severe thunderstorm winds.
So true. Same thing's happening here. I'm just in a basement.
It's rocking the basement?
No, I know there's a lot of wind.
It's windy on the east coast. Yeah, so she gets as close as she can, and she's like, Saltbrook, don't.
I continue my advance. But I am not going to strike him to death.
How close do you want to get?
I'm already in the bubble, right?
Well, the bubble is the
Oh, no.
entire room.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Not go into the bubble. What do I got here? How does it say a dagger's 20-foot range? I guess it's for throwing.
Yes.
Um, I have to kind of get within 5 feet if I want to do what I'm going to do.
Okay. 5 feet it is.
Yes.
I would like to act like literally like draw my bow and like stand ready to fire. Like, Solbrook, you would not slay a chained man.
As you do that, Ethel, Kirith ignites her sword, and her horns, instead of being all glowy as they were before, only the tips glow, bright yellow.
I'm going to raise my sword, do a little funny grip in my hand before I swing it down, and I'm going to try to cut the tether.
Okay. Actually, okay. What weapon are you using?
The great sword.
The great sword. Remind me its properties right now.
It's a +1 great sword.
Right.
And it's slashing. I am also proficient.
Okay. Solbrook, put inspiration on your page, please.
Alright.
As you swing down, which tether are you cutting?
How many? There's been one that's been consistently holding him every time.
Well, there's
That's the
two.
one I want to go
One
for.
on each.
Oh,
One on
there's
each
two.
wrist.
Can I do both in one swing, considering there's a big old sword?
Sure.
I shall do both.
Okay. As you cut through them both, the blue energy essentially trails and conducts through your sword, and it travels up your arms and into your head, and you get thrown back several feet, and you fall onto the ground prone, and your mind gets inundated with a vision. And in this vision, let's see. You start feeling a sense of unease and disconnection from your normal sense of self. There's anxiety, confusion, and you question your own existence for a moment. It begins to intensify, and you feel your own ego breaking down. There's a sudden deconstruction of your previously held beliefs and perspectives. For that split moment, there's this insane feeling of disorientation and fear as your own identity of Josiah Saltbrook seems to be ripped away from you. You begin to feel a sense of liberation from your old limiting beliefs. You even feel a sense of transcendence, as if you're moving beyond the boundaries of your own ego. You begin to see things from a new, wider perspective, one that transcends the limitations of who you were. And you feel a sense of unity with the world around you. And you take a deep breath. Around you, there is mud and blood. There is acrid smoke in the air. It burns your lungs and your nostrils. Your feet frozen, rotting. And in the middle of your chest, you feel a hole where before there was transcendental understanding, there is nothing. and you feel the ground rumble around you. This hellish landscape around you. Corpses and corpses and corpses. Some drowned in their own blood. Some stuck in mud with only their hands hanging off. And you feel the ground rumble as metal combined with fire seems to roll towards you, crushing you underneath treads. And before you're able to scream, you come back to. And you take 15 points of psychic damage.
Owie zowie, Batman.
And as you come to, the psychic protrusion of this entity is no more. And as you open your eyes, you see Kirith standing over you, essentially still aiming the sword at you, and the sword is on fire. And you see her eyes dart back to the figure, and she lowers her sword slowly. And when you're able to look at the figure, you notice that the figure is on the ground, prone.
Can I tell if he's alive?
You can't tell.
I would like to jog up to the boy.
Ethel, as you approach, you notice upon its plating several indents and curves that are very similar to Grimoirians, but somewhat older, less refined. Almost as if this was a step towards creating what Grimoirian eventually became. And as you know, the dark wood in between the armor plating is rotted completely. This is, and as an elf, you recognize this to be wood that has rotted away to the point of no return. And this figure just lies there, prone.
Is he still alive?
You sense some life.
He's not awake though? Like, he's not...
He seems to be unresponsive so far.
Would any sort of, like, herbal poultice help to restore the Darkwood?
Roll
Like how how the Elderwood growth helped Grim?
roll either nature or medicine, whichever one you'd prefer.
Okay, let me see. Ugh. Okay, they're both a plus. How do I not want that?
You have
No.
inspiration.
Oh, you're so right, King. Nat 20.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. I'm,
Twice?
This is
Oh,
the
I'm
second time this has happened.
That
Second
is-
time this has
that
happened
is
this
so
session.
fucking funny.
Absolutely wild.
and I've been watching it happen too, so it's not a fudge.
Holy shit balls.
Ethel. So how do you begin to attend to this figure?
I keep, like, some stuff on me, like, as just, like, an instinctual thing, like, certain, like, herbs that could be used, like, just, like, you know, either to make it to health potions, salves for wounds, stuff like that. Some of them contain, like, the mycelium from Sylvania,
Mm-hmm.
because, like, they're native growth there.
Right.
I kind of, like, start kind of, like, chewing them up and, like, grinding them up and stuff. and see if like applying it to the dark wood would help it almost begin to repair itself.
As you begin to work on the dark wood, you notice that this figure turns its head to face you. And it's a very, for lack of a better word, robotic motion. Not like grim. There's no fluidity here. It's very deliberate. And as it turns its head towards you, it doesn't have eyes, but you can sense where its gaze is. It looks into your eyes and then down at where you're currently operating, I suppose, and then looks back at you. There is a sense of apprehension in the air.
Apprehension.
And you hear it.
Please, do not hurt me.
She kind of like takes a moment and like stops doing that and like puts like a hand on like his shoulder plate, whatever that may or may not be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, I won't. Not again. This will help.
The children of the forest imprisoned me, hurt me.
They what?
And it slowly moves one of its arms to its face, essentially, and it removes the faceplate, and underneath there's a face very similar to Grimorian's in construction. You yourself can tell the difference. It's very, very obvious once you've looked at a Warforged enough, or at Warforged enough. You can tell very easily the differences between their faces. But the manner of construction is extremely similar to Grimorian's, but much, much older. And on its faceplate, you notice a deep cut across its faceplate. And you know exactly what did this. This is the work of a royal Sylvanian blade. The type of blade that you have only heard stories about.
Oh god. Ignoring that, is it like at least working to help him?
He doesn't seem to be in pain while you're doing this, but there is it's almost like a cornered animal. There is so much fear right now. It's almost not moving because they're afraid that you might decide to hurt it.
I would like to stand up, by the way.
Just as an aside.
Yes.
I'm assuming like I set my bow down on the ground like as I kneeled down and started working with my hands and stuff. but like I'll just kind of slip off like the sheath I have, and then I want to slip off like the adamantine plate I'm wearing and just kind of set it aside, really easy.
Okay. You can sense that they're following all of your emotions with their gaze.
She like kind of like goes back to like working on it, and she's like, "There, more fair game, right?"
I know not what fair means.
Oh, she like sad smiles, and she's like, "You might. We're not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna let anyone."
I'll hurt you. I'm not saying
No.
that though. I'm not saying that though.
This is my
really fucking funny.
Bob Nar. Anyway, I'm like, yeah, like I'm not gonna hurt you, and I'm not gonna let anything hurt you. What should we call you?
I am Alpha 1 Primus.
Rod fitting as many ones as he can into one name.
A primera.
And after he says this, Saltbrook, the words he speaks after this send a chill down your spine because of the way he says this specifically. You've heard this exact series of words before, but with other words used. After he says his name, Alpha 1 Primus, he says,
Primarch of the first forging.
and you're immediately pulled back into your memories, Sulbrook. And you remember the words specifically. Primarch of the first chapter, The Avenging Shield. That is what you
does that
remember.
mean?
That is what you remember.
Can I do a history check to see if I can remember?
Sure, do it.
I need to remember gooder, damn it. History. There you go.
Oh,
19.
okay. Before we do that, I am so sorry. I read the wrong thing. You didn't hear that previous one. You heard Primarch of the 29th chapter, The Dragon's Lightning. Okay, that is what you heard. 29th chapter, The Dragon's Lightning. Just
to emphasize.
no, just no, specifically, just to make sure that you know. Because this has far-reaching consequences later. But you got a 19 in history, yeah?
Yes.
Sulbrook, you don't exactly reach into your knowledge of history itself. You reach into your own history. Before the fall of Fairhaven, you had heard stories about the Ascending Mechanicus, the army of the Omnissiah, the army of the Warforged. And you heard of the 100 chapters of the Indominus Mechanicus, the elite warriors of the Ascending Mechanicus. If this Warforged is telling the truth, he is one of the Primarchs of he is one of the Primarchs of the first founding, which is how Warforged were created in Eberron. They are created in foundings, which are essentially production series. If he is a Primarch of the first founding. He is one of the single oldest Warforged to exist. In fact, he is something like one of the first 100 Warforged to be ever created. Out of millions.
Damn! He almost as old as me!
In fact, in terms of when the Ascending Mechanicus came around and when House Cannith began those experiments that were public in Eberron, he should be roughly around your age. However, the wood on his body and the state of the metal on his body indicate that he should be much, much older. And I'm talking hundreds, if not thousands of years older.
Man, Tom's doing a fucky in this bitch. And or just connected by the wire gave him nutrients to not explode. One of the two, probably.
What would you like to do, everyone?
I'm doing what I'm doing.
Ethel, you seem to find some success in providing relief to Primus. There's not much to repair specifically, but there is relief. And while you're doing this, you can hear him muttering to himself and whispering.
Can I discern any of that?
Yes. You hear, the one true Omnissiah will awaken.
And he just kind of says that over and over.
Yes.
He kind of like nods, just like, so I keep hearing.
As you keep doing this, Saltbrook... Sorry, as Ethildon keeps doing this, Saltbrook, you notice something up above.
What is it?
Sorry. I was looking at a thing. As you look up, you notice that there is a blue light, different shade of blue than everything else. And it seems to be slowly descending.
I'm going to raise my voice and say, we need to move.
Ethel, as you look back and then up, and you hear Primus speak.
Do not fear.
She like kind of like puts like a hand out to Saltbrook and she's like, no, wait.
The light slowly descends in between the two of you, Saltbrook and Ethel, in the space between you. And as it approaches, it becomes easier to discern that it is the crystal that you all saw from a distance. And it floats off the ground in between the two of you. It's made of this impossibly translucent material. It's transparent, but you see it.
Is it safe for us? And she kind of like debates on saying the word organic. Touch it?
You wanted a key. The Father Forge will open to those who carry the key.
Thank you.
Here I shall remain, not as a slave, but as welcome.
You could come with us. See the sun again?
I know not how to walk anymore.
Well, that's easy enough to figure out. Babies do it all the time.
You're
Can I
gonna
like try to give him a hand up and see if that works?
do what?
Can I like try to give him a hand up?
Are you trying to pull him up to his feet?
Maybe. Yes.
As you reach your hand out, Ethel, his grip is so weak, so fragile, and there seems to be almost no pull from him. He's not even heavy.
I love Norb so much. Or, I'm sorry, Primus.
You try to help him to his feet, but he can't stand.
I don't want to leave him here. Guys, what should I do? Party, gang, besties.
Any thoughts, Gimnir?
Gibnir's all the way in the background. He just goes,
What?
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 Say that again.
he just yells, "What?" He's very far back.
Do y'all want to come closer?
Gibnir will hesitantly take a step forward.
Nothing happens.
Roll an Among Us save.
Alright, flat d20, let's go. Alright.
Oh boy, are you actually rolling an Among Us save? Here it comes.
Oh, that's an 8. I am
You're
the
sus,
imposter.
bro. You're sus.
Sus.
Get him out of here.
Throw out the cat.
The cat was the imposter. Common L.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. You're able to
Yeah,
walk forward, Gimnir.
Gimnir walks up to join the rest of the party.
7 follows. Or 7. There's not much he can do. He's experiencing all of this stuff for the first time. He has no clue what the fuck is happening.
What did you say, Ethildon?
I just kind of like turned to them. I was like, we can't leave him here.
I mean, can. If it's his choice.
I guess she like turns back to Primus and she's like, you're okay with staying here. You really are. Like, as a question, I mean.
he seems almost as if he didn't hear you.
What? Bimbor Primus, no. Rod, if you kill this thing after I get emotionally attached to it, I'm gonna fucking scream. Is he, like,
No, so-
good? Can I, like, talk to him still?
Who knows? Maybe he's just resting.
Like, I say his name and, like, touch him on the shoulder again.
As you do, it's almost as if he was asleep. He shakes awake, essentially, and his gaze falls on you, Thilden. He waits.
Primus, do you want to stay here? Or do you want to come with us?
I have never wanted before, but I think I should try and welcome my own kin, should they come.
So he wants to stay here.
One day I will relearn to walk. One day my legs will work again. But it will take time.
Well, you have friends to come visit when you do.
What are friends?
Ithel wants to cry.
She can cry.
I'm not making boo-hoo noises on stream, like... Oh boo, oh boo-hoo. Okay.
Put inspiration on yours.
I thank you. I love having inspiration. It tastes so yummy.
Yes, it's grape flavored.
It's
Might
great.
say it's a little inspiring.
Okay. Take away the inspiration
move
you
on.
had, please.
Hell yeah.
You have your rights revoked. Sorry.
you have
I love
lost.
making things harder for
You
myself.
have lost your inspiration.
For willingly taking the lower role.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that is so funny still.
Man, what are the odds of that?
Primus, you witness Primus's left arm, the one that you weren't treating. It essentially withers rapidly, and his right arm seems to engorge, to become stronger. And he puts his hand flat on the ground, and he says,
The evil done to me shall bring me strength.
and you hear the metal of the tips of his fingers creak and break as the dark wood, woods and fibers from his arm seem to begin to elongate, and they begin to press against the black marble, and the marble cracks, and these roots begin to dig into the earth underneath it.
From this cursed land, I will grow and welcome my brethren. I will not forget the kindness of you, child of the forest.
And he leans back. His head seems to lean back onto the floor, and his roots continue to press into the earth. And his armor plating seems to rust very quickly.
All these long lifetimes, I have survived. Today, I begin to live. Ithilden, daughter of Ithilied.
And he stops moving. His voice a mere echo in this domed building. Ithilden, Kirith turns to you with a confused look in her eyes and asks, "What was your mom's name?"
Oh god, what did we say my mom's name was?
Solari.
Thank you. Sorry.
And
I'm
what
having an emotional moment over Tree Man.
and what was your father's name?
It's a Therion, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm really sorry. I'm having a moment.
Then why did he call you daughter of Ithilied?
Kind of like shakes her head, and she's like, knows what's going through his head at the point.
Saltbrook, did he get anything wrong about you?
Not really. No.
I
Gimnir.
mean, he said Kira was dead, but I mean, he didn't say that to me when I left. I had a vision.
His
Kira was dead.
visions were false. I doubt Kirith is dead.
Salt
Yes, I highly doubt that that is well.
Zar, to confirm. Saltbrook's family. Hold on. I'm gonna send you a DM real quick. 1 second.
There's crack inside of the DM. Help, 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 help.
Did you say there's crack inside of the DM?
Ah!
You know what? I'm grown enough to admit to stream. I cried over Tree Man. I've had a week.
Kirith looks at you, Ithilden, and she says, "Okay, weird. Anyway." She kneels down next to you, and she touches her hand to the armor plate of this Warforged. He's still alive. We can see his roots. Maybe not as he was, but old man is still going.
Yeah. He'll be okay.
Got to tell you, the idea that his first choice as a free person was to become a tree. It is very interesting.
Ethel kind of like wipes her face and like laughs.
Well, and Kirith stands up and she looks behind her, and there's the crystal. So can I call dibs to grab it, or how are we going to do this?
I suppose if you want to take the first try in case it's maybe a trap.
Well, if it's a trap and it explodes, we're all responsible. And she grabs it immediately. And as she grabs, she just stops for a second, like her eyes wide, just staring at the crystal, hoping it doesn't blow up. Whew, okay, yes. Almost shat myself there, but you know, I have to grab life by the balls. Could have been a
Not
lot
by the
worse.
tail?
Listen, not in front of the boys.
Thought the expression was grab life by the horns.
You grab my horns, and that'll be the last thing your hands will ever touch.
I am going to grab Kirith's horns now.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
I will not be doing that.
All right. We will end today's session right here. 2.5 hours, huh?
Yes.
What a fun session. I really, really enjoyed it.
Me too.
Yeah,
Pretty
I enjoyed it too.
I'm glad, sweetheart.
It's always my story that gets an emotional response.
It's a good goddamn story, dude. You did really well creating Saltbrook, and it shows in how it interacts with the world. It makes me happy.
Out of nothing.
He-
Nothing. He's supposed to be a bit character.
I was about to say, it was about to be
Yeah,
a
it was about to
joke
be a bit.
character. I mean, he is always a bit, but
Meanwhile, he's like the deepest emotional character.
honestly, man, sometimes that just happens. I created Mochi essentially as a bit character, and lo and behold, he has existed in 3 campaigns so far. That's how like
It works.
that's
It just works.
yeah, that's how many people decided to like, yeah, no, I love Mochi, let's have him. Two of John's campaigns, one of them as a player, another as an NPC, and one of my one new campaign that I did. Jeez, dude. It's fucking nuts.
Anyways,
I can't
really
wait to
good
appear
time.
in 30 campaign.
it is time for dinner.
Yes, everybody, thank you so much for coming. Tess, thank you so much for watching. Sean, thank you so much for watching as well. I hope you had a good time.
Hi, Sean.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
And yeah, okay, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye.
And we will see you all next weekend for the continuation of Wyndburgh. And for those of you who want to watch specific moments of this, I would like to direct you to my new YouTube channel that I've created recently. Every single one of my videos goes straight there, and I'd be so happy if y'all went to take a look and maybe even give it a little bit of a sub. This VOD should be up within an hour or so because it needs to process. So here we go. It's in chat right now. Thank you very much, everyone, and I will see you next session. See ya.
Bye.
Da, 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 you know, like Markiplier. My grandma used
And
to
I will
think I was
see
funny.
you in the next one.
And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
Ooh, also, Rod, I have something for you.
Microphone is still hot. Tell me what it is. Can you tell me what it is?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
It is for the Dark Tide streams
Ooh,
because I didn't have a little goober
ooh.
thing.
Oh,
So I have built.
You made one specifically for it?
I made my sharpshooter Gavich for it. Yes.
Oh, that's so cool. All right, sick. I can't wait.
I will send it to
Tomorrow,
you in a minute.
tomorrow I'm
Put together.
playing Sea of Thieves with a couple of other people because it's the community weekend. And there's lots of plunder to be made, mateys. But yeah,
I don't have the Tree of Thieves, so
no worries. You would really enjoy it, man. I'm sorry. I know you would really love it.
I don't remember what hair color I gave
Seems
him.
like a very you game Czar.
Huh?
It seems like a very Czar game. Like I thought he did play it.
Yeah, me too.
No.
All right.
I do not yar, har, and fiddly dee.
Well, maybe you should, huh?
Yar har fiddly dee. Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Cheeseburger.
Obama.
Obama.
Soda. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good.